Welcome to Wealthrise Stories, where clarity meets knowledge, and knowledge becomes financial power.
Welcome back to the Wealthrise Stories channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that might sound a bit dry at first, but actually holds layers of meaning that are incredibly fascinating and full of surprises. Do you think a business dictionary is nothing more than a collection of dry terms, soulless numbers, and empty definitions about markets, finance, or marketing strategy? For many people, the image of a dictionary is a thick book, packed with text, sitting neatly on a shelf, only taken down when someone needs to look up a specific technical word, then quickly return to its quiet place and forgotten. Right. If you've ever thought that way, then today I want to challenge that perception. Because the book we're about to explore, Mr. Honey's Large Business Dictionaries English-German, is not a business dictionary in the usual sense. Not even close to me. And hopefully after this video to you too, Mr. Honey isn't just a book. It's a silent mentor, an experienced guide, a finely tuned compass that opens the door, leading us straight into the very soul of German business culture. Picture this. Instead of simply providing straightforward definitions, Mr. Honey feels more like a teacher who tells stories. Every term, every concept isn't just academically explained. It's framed within the cultural, historical, and intellectual context of the German mindset. It helps us understand not only the literal meaning of a word, but also its figurative layers, its deeper implications, the core values that have shaped one of the strongest economies in the world. In the journey we're going to take together over the next 120 minutes, I promise we won't just flip through dictionary pages. We'll decode the unwritten rules, the living philosophies hidden behind terms that seem so familiar, like Ordnung, order, discipline, or Pünktlichkeit, punctuality, keeping one's word. Do you think Ordnung is just about keeping things tidy? Or that Pünktlichkeit simply means showing up to a meeting on time? Mr. Honey will show us that behind those seemingly simple concepts lies an entire belief system, a way Germans build trust, transparency, and efficiency in everything from running a complex production line to conducting a business negotiation. Have you ever wondered how to truly connect with German partners, how to build a sustainable business relationship based on trust and respect? The answer isn't just in speaking fluent German or understanding contractual clauses. It lies in your ability to grasp their thinking, the values they prioritize, the expectations they never say out loud, but always assume. And that is exactly where Mr. Honey becomes a treasure. Understanding this dictionary in a way is also understanding how to build trust, establish credibility, and ultimately achieve long-term success when working with German partners. It's not just a linguistic tool. It's a master key that unlocks cultural insight, helping you communicate not only through language, but through sincerity, professionalism, and reliability. Are you ready to explore this complex yet captivating world with me? Let's begin this journey of connecting the dots between those seemingly lifeless letters to uncover the soul of German business culture. Today, we're about to begin a special journey, an adventure that I believe won't just expand your vocabulary, but will also open a completely new door into a business culture that's challenging yet incredibly captivating German culture. You know, the first time I had the chance to work with a German partner, it was truly a culture shock. I thought I was pretty well prepared. Fluent English basic etiquette studied in advance. But then, everything felt like a maze. I still remember that very first meeting when I enthusiastically presented my ideas with a touch of spontaneity and creativity that was light laugh, very Western in the way I was used to. The response I got wasn't admiration like I expected, but serious looks and questions drilling deep into every detail, every number, every process. They didn't easily overlook the parts I considered big ideas that didn't need concrete details yet. When the meeting ended, I felt like I had slammed into an invisible wall. I spoke the language, but I didn't understand their language. Not the vocabulary, but the language of thinking, of expectations, of how they operate everything. In that moment, I truly wished someone had given me a heads-up, a handbook, that didn't just translate words, but translated the soul, the philosophy behind those words. And fortunately, I eventually found one. Not a person, but a book. A book that, at first glance, looks like the driest thing on earth, Mr. Honey's Large Business Dictionary. Nor English-German. Sounds boring, right? A business dictionary. You're probably thinking, oh no, another dictionary reading, who could watch that? But trust me, this is not a regular dictionary, and this video definitely won't be a dull dictionary reading session either. Mr. Honey isn't just a list of terms and matching translations. It's a key, a decoding tool. What makes Mr. Honey different is that it digs deep into the why behind each term. It doesn't just tell you that termin means appointment. It explains that in German culture, a termin isn't simply a meeting. It's a commitment, a scheduled plan that's followed almost absolutely. Canceling or changing a termin is something that can cause real irritation and is quietly interpreted as unprofessional. Or take the word Sicherheitssafety. It doesn't just mean the absence of physical danger. It threads through every aspect of German business thinking: certainty in planning, safety in investment, sustainability in relationships. You see, vocabulary is tightly connected with mindset, with behavior, with an entire system of values. Mr. Honey helps us see the invisible threads connecting language and culture. And that's exactly why I want to dedicate this entire video to decoding Mr. Honey with you. We're not going to sit here and read word by word, entry by entry from this massive dictionary. No, that's not my style, and it's not an effective way to learn. Instead, we're going to dive into a themed exploration, a structured journey, just like the way Germans would approach it. We'll start with foundational principles, the core values Germans prioritize in business. For example, the importance of precision planning, professionalism, and adherence to process. From there, we'll gradually move into more practical scenarios. We'll explore how they structure a meeting, from setting an agenda to making decisions. We'll uncover the art or science of negotiation, where logic and thorough preparation often take precedence over emotion. And we'll examine the subtle aspects of communication, the way they give feedback, build trust, and form long-lasting relationships. Each topic will be illustrated using terms and concepts from Mr. Honey, but in a very unique way. We won't just learn new words. We'll learn how to step into the shoes of a German person to understand the logic behind their behavior and their language. We'll look at stories and real-life examples so you can clearly picture how to apply these insights. I believe that by the end of this video, you won't just walk away with a richer business vocabulary. More importantly, you'll start seeing the world through a different lens, a more structured, more logical, and sometimes light laugh, a bit more serious lens. You'll be able to think in a more structured German style. And I guarantee this will be an incredible advantage when you work, communicate, or collaborate with any partner from this country. So, are you ready? Let's open the door to the fascinating world of German business culture with Mr. Honey as our guidepost. Let's begin this decoding journey. Right now, I'm incredibly excited to join you on a journey to explore the core values and the philosophies that have shaped one of the strongest and most efficient economies in the world, Germany. Together, we're going to open the pages of Mr. Honey's Large Business Dictionary, English-German, a book that isn't just a dictionary, but a map leading straight into the business soul of the German people. And the very first chapter we step into carries a name that may sound simple, yet hides an entire universe of philosophy. Chapter 1. Ordnung, muss, sein. Order is the foundation of freedom. It sounds a bit rigid, maybe even contradictory, doesn't it? Order and freedom? How could these two concepts possibly go together? But I'm going to show you that this is actually the firmest foundation for freedom, creativity, and outstanding efficiency in business. So what exactly is Ordnung? When we talk about Ordnung, order in the German context, we're not just talking about tidying up your desk or neatly arranging your documents, my friends. While those things do matter, the German concept of Ordnung goes far deeper. It's a philosophy of life, a principle of organization rooted in system logic and intention. Ordnung. At its core, Ordnung is the conscious, scientific, and rational arrangement of things so that everything runs as smoothly as possible. It's not just external tidiness, it's clarity in thinking, in processes, and in the way all elements interact. It eliminates ambiguity, minimizes risks, and maximizes efficiency. Planung, planning. This is Ordnung's indispensable companion. Planung is the act of creating Ordnung for the future. It requires meticulousness, foresight, and the ability to anticipate. Germans believe that every major success begins with a detailed and carefully thought-out plan. Without Planung, Ordnung becomes nothing more than spontaneous arrangement, lacking sustainability. Planung answers, what will we do? Who will do it? When? How? And most importantly, what is the final objective? Structure, structure. If Ordnung is how we arrange the pieces, and Planung is the blueprint for arranging them, then structure is the solid skeleton that ensures those pieces don't fall apart. Structure is the organizational system, the rules, the framework that everyone follows. It creates stability, transparency, and predictability. From a company's organizational chart to the format of a report, everything needs structure. Imagine it like this. You want to build a house, the goal. You need a detailed architectural blueprint, from foundation to roof, from electrical lines to plumbing, planning. You'll arrange construction materials scientifically on site, assign tasks clearly to each team, and follow the timeline precisely, Ordnung. And finally, the house will have a solid frame, walls, and floors built to standard, creating a durable, whole structure. Without one of these three, your house won't be completed safely or effectively. In the German business environment, these three concepts aren't just theoretical. They're applied to every aspect, from the smallest task to billion-dollar projects. Detailed meeting agendas. You'll rarely see a German meeting without an agenda sent out beforehand, detailed down to the minute. Who presents? What will be discussed? How long for each item? What's the goal of the meeting? Who's responsible for follow-up actions? Everything must be clear. This is Planung and Ordnung in action, ensuring meetings are efficient, focused, and results-driven. Clear project plans. Whether it's a software project or building a factory project, plans are extremely detailed. Gantt charts milestones, roles and responsibilities, risk assessments, and quality control processes, all defined from the start. It's the perfect combination of meticulous Planung and solid structure to keep the project on track, on budget, and up to standard. Transparent workflows. Whether manufacturing a car or processing a customer request, workflows are standardized, documented, and easily accessible. From step A to step Z, who does what when and what the expected result is, everything is defined clearly. This ensures quality, consistency, transparency, easy onboarding of new employees, and quick identification of issues when they arise. That's Ordnung in daily operations, supported by a clear structure. You may think, oh gosh, this sounds so complicated. Sometimes being flexible and improvising is better, isn't it? Well, flexibility does have value in some situations. But to Germans, especially in business, chaos and improvisation, or ad hocing, are often seen pretty negatively. Lack of professionalism. Showing up to a meeting unprepared or without a specific plan is seen as disrespectful of others' time. Lack of preparation implies that you don't value the work or take your responsibilities seriously. Lack of reliability. A project driven by constant improvisation often leads to unpredictable results, errors, or delays. This erodes trust. Germans place huge importance on punctuality and keeping promises. If you say you'll do something, they expect you to follow through. A lack of Planung and Ordnung is seen as a major risk to success and stability. Wasted resources chaos equals wasted time, effort, and money. Fixing mistakes caused by poor planning, reorganizing processes due to lack of structure. These are things Germans want to avoid at all costs. They believe investing time and effort into Planung and Ordnung early on saves far more later. To them, freedom isn't about doing things spontaneously. True freedom comes from knowing the limits, the rules, and the structure, so you can innovate and grow within a safe, efficient framework. When everything has Ordnung, you don't have to worry about the basics. You're free to pour your energy into innovation and development. I remember a time when I took part in a complex software integration project for a multinational automotive parts manufacturer headquartered in Stuttgart. Our team was a mix of engineers from various countries working in a very flexible and adaptive way. From the start, Herr Schmidt, the German project director, shocked the entire team with his demands for Ordnung and Planung. Every meeting had a detailed agenda. Every decision had to be recorded in formal meeting minutes with clear owners and deadlines. The project plan was broken down into work packages with hundreds of interconnected tasks, tightly managed using Gantt charts. Even file naming conventions and folder structure on the server had to follow strict rules outlined in the structure plan document. At first, we were extremely annoyed. Why so complicated? This is taking too much time. Let's just do it and fix things later. Those were the whispers within our team. Some members were outright irritated by what they felt was bureaucracy. But it was precisely this attention to detail that prevented a potential disaster. Midway through the project during integrated testing, a severe system error suddenly appeared. It was related to a module we had completed weeks earlier. Thanks to the tight Ordnung and structure in our documentation system, it took us only a few minutes to trace back the meeting minutes where the module was approved, the exact person responsible for each part of the module, the precise version of the source code that had been deployed, the code change log, and most importantly, a detailed test case document requested by Herr Schmidt early on describing the exact scenario that triggered the error. Because of that, instead of spending days digging through a tangled mess, we quickly discovered the issue wasn't caused by new code. It stemmed from a small misunderstanding in the original requirements, which had been updated but not fully reflected in a secondary document. Within hours, we isolated the problem, updated the requirements, fixed the code, and redeployed, keeping the project on schedule and maintaining its quality. It was a valuable lesson for the entire team. From that point on, we understood that Ordnung isn't a chain holding us down. It's the pair of wings that helps us fly higher and safer. In the end, the project finished on time within budget and exceeded the client's expectations, all thanks to Herr Schmidt and the philosophy of Ordnung, muss, sein. As you can see, Ordnung isn't a set of rigid, lifeless rules. It's a living philosophy, a powerful tool that helps us minimize risks, increase efficiency, build trust, and ultimately create a work environment where creativity and freedom can truly flourish without being hindered by chaos. Try starting with something small, organizing your desk, cleaning up your inbox, or simply planning your day in detail. You'll feel the difference that Ordnung brings. In the next chapter, we'll dive into another equally important and quintessentially German concept, Pünktlichkeit, punctuality. Let's find out why time is gold takes on such a unique meaning in their business culture. In the previous chapter, we revealed a bit about the Ordnung, muss, sein mindset order as strength and today we're diving deep into another aspect, one that may cause even more culture shock for anyone new to working with German's Direktheit and Sachlichkeit. This chapter 2 is titled Direktheit and Sachlichkeit, the power of straightforwardness. I still remember the first time I worked with a German colleague. Her name was Anya. During a project review meeting, I presented my idea for a new marketing campaign with all the enthusiasm and honestly a bit of the typical Asian-style presentation, talking while reading the other person's facial expressions, adjusting my phrasing based on their reactions. After I finished, Anya looked straight into my eyes without a hint of hesitation and said, "I don't think this idea is feasible. The budget is too high and the objectives aren't clear." I have to admit, I was a bit stunned. In my culture, such blunt criticism, especially in front of others, is often seen as lacking tact, even rude. People usually try to soften things, say something nice first, then gently slip in the feedback, often leaving parts unsaid so the listener can read between the lines. But Anya didn't do that. She went straight to the point without taking a single detour. And that is exactly Direktheit, directness, straightforward communication. You see, while many other cultures, particularly in Asia or even Anglo-Saxon countries, prefer implicit communication, high context, where the real message lies between the lines in subtle hints or gestures, Germans are the complete opposite. They're masters of direct, low-context communication. To them, words mean exactly what they say. Think of it like this: you want to get from point A to point B. In some cultures, people may show you a long scenic route with several possible turns. But Germans, they'll point you to a straight, no-exit highway and say clearly, "Take this road and you'll get there the fastest." So why do Germans value directness so much? Simple. Because it's efficient. In business, time is money. Directness saves time, eliminates misunderstandings, and builds trust through transparency. When a German says yes, it means yes. When they say no, it means no. You don't have to guess, analyze tone, or decode hidden meanings. This creates a clear work environment where everyone knows exactly where they stand and what is expected. But being direct doesn't mean saying whatever you want without caring about others' feelings. That's a major misconception. German directness usually comes with another important element, Sachlichkeit. Sachlich is a German term we can roughly translate as objective, fact-based, or matter-of-fact. It's an art, a subtlety that many foreigners misunderstand. Sachlichkeit means separating the issue from the person. When Germans give feedback or criticism, they focus on the issue, the work, the data, not on you as an individual. Let's go back to Anya. When she said this idea isn't feasible, the budget is too large, and the objectives aren't clear, she wasn't saying you're a bad marketer or you're incompetent. She was pointing out specific weaknesses in the idea and the plan I presented: budget issues, unclear goals. Her goal was to improve the quality of the work, not to attack me personally. This is extremely important to understand. When you receive brutally honest feedback from a German, remember it's not a personal attack. They're conducting an objective examination of the work with the intention of optimizing efficiency. So how can we give and receive feedback constructively in a German work environment? When you need to give feedback, 1. Be specific. Instead of saying, "You're not effective," say, "Last month's sales figures were 15% below target, and we need to analyze why." 2. Be objective. Base your comments on data facts and establish standards. Avoid subjective or emotional judgments. 3. Focus on solutions. After identifying the issue, suggest or discuss next steps. To improve, I suggest we try method A or B. And when you receive feedback, 1. Don't get defensive. Take a deep breath and listen. Remember, the goal is to improve the work, not to tear you down. 2. Ask clarifying questions. As if you're unsure, ask, Could you explain point X in more detail, or what do you suggest I do to improve Y? 3. See it as an opportunity. Germans believe pointing out weaknesses is a form of helping, not hurting. It's an investment in your growth and in the team's success. Here's the core idea I want you to remember from this chapter. In German business, clarity is better than comfort. A work environment where everyone tries to save face and avoid direct confrontation may feel comfortable at first. But over time, it often leads to misunderstandings, delays, and inefficiency. In contrast, an environment where people communicate clearly, directly, and objectively may require some initial adjustment and may even feel a little uncomfortable at first. But it forms the strongest foundation for transparency, efficiency, and long-term success. German Direktheit and Sachlichkeit are not rudeness. They are a form of respect for each other's time, respect for the work itself, respect for the truth, and a shared desire to achieve the best results. Once you understand this, you won't feel shocked by straightforward criticism. Instead, you'll see it as a sign of trust and an opportunity to grow together. In the next chapter, we'll explore another key aspect of German business culture, the importance of contracts and agreements. Do you think a verbal agreement is enough applies in German business? Let's find out. Thank you for joining me in this chapter. Don't forget to leave a comment below about your experiences with direct communication, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome to Chapter 3 of our journey through Mr. Honey's large business dictionary, English-German. A book that isn't just a dictionary, but a compass for modern business thinking and workplace culture. Today we're diving into a concept that may seem simple at first glance, but carries the weight of an entire life philosophy. Pünktlichkeit ist die Höflichkeit der Könige. Punctuality is the politeness of kings. When you hear the phrase punctuality, what comes to mind? Most people imagine showing up exactly at 9:00 a.m. for a meeting that starts at 9:00, or submitting a report precisely on the deadline. But is that definition truly aligned with the spirit behind that German saying? Mr. Honey's dictionary wouldn't define Pünktlichkeit in such a mechanical way. For those who genuinely value this principle, the kings of today's business world being punctual doesn't mean arriving on time. It means arriving early. 5 to 10 minutes early. Sounds a bit extreme, right? But let's break down why that seemingly tiny window of time holds such tremendous meaning. Think about it. When you arrive 5 to 10 minutes early for a meeting, what do you gain? You have time to find a good seat. Prepare your documents. Take a deep breath, quickly review your notes. Even pour yourself a glass of water or make a cup of tea. You don't have to rush through traffic, scramble for parking, or walk into the room flustered. Instead, you enter with a calm, focused mindset, fully ready for what's ahead. That's preparation. That's respect for yourself and for everyone you're about to meet with. It's entirely different from arriving at 9:00 on the dot, then spending the next 2 to 3 minutes settling in while everyone's eyes are on you. In that moment, you're not just wasting your own time, you're wasting everyone else's too. And this is where we need to talk about the consequences of being late. I'm sure all of us have experienced the frustration of waiting for someone who's running behind, even if it's just a few minutes. A meeting that starts 5 minutes late with 10 participants means you've just burned 50 minutes of collective productivity. 50 minutes that could have been used to solve a problem, make a decision, or simply let people finish their work earlier. Every delay, every missed deadline chips away at something incredibly valuable: trust. Zuverlässigkeit, reliability. This is another key term you'll find in Mr. Honey's large business dictionary. And Pünktlichkeit is the strongest foundation for building Zuverlässigkeit. Someone who is frequently late or regularly misses deadlines, no matter how talented they are, will inevitably damage their image in the eyes of colleagues, partners, and leaders. He's good, but unreliable. She's creative, but always late. Once these impressions are cemented in people's minds, they're incredibly hard to change. And they don't just affect your current projects, they limit your future opportunities. No one wants to entrust critical time-sensitive tasks to someone they can't count on to deliver on time. Punctuality, therefore, isn't just a good habit. It's a commitment. A commitment to respecting other people's time, to showing that you value their work and schedule just as much as your own. It's also a commitment to your own reliability, showing that you are disciplined, responsible, and someone who keeps their word. When you're consistently punctual, you send a powerful message: I am a professional. I value time. I am dependable. These are qualities every king in the business world needs to lead and influence effectively. So how can we become the kings of punctuality, even when unpredictable obstacles get in the way? I used to be pretty casual about time myself, but after realizing the core value of Pünktlichkeit, I changed a lot. Here are a few small tips I've applied and found extremely effective. 1. Prepare the night before. It sounds simple, but it works wonders. Lay out your clothes, pack your bag, organize your documents, even prep a light breakfast. The next morning you'll save time and avoid unnecessary stress. 2. Always add buffer time. This is my golden rule. If you think something will take 30 minutes, plan for 40, 45. If your commute is 20 minutes, allow 30, 35. Murphy's Law. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong is very real here. Traffic jams, elevator failures, unexpected phone calls, they all happen. Buffer time protects you. 3. Anticipate potential obstacles. Before starting your day or a trip, take a minute to think. Which road might be congested? Is there a special event in town? Is my device fully charged? This helps you stay proactive and ready with alternatives. Story 4. Use reminders and scheduling tools. Google Calendar, Microsoft Outlook, or any time management app can be your best friend. Set reminders not only for the meeting time, but for when you need to start heading to the meeting. 5. Overestimate how long things take. Be generous with your estimates. Better to arrive 15 minutes early and enjoy a coffee than rush in 5 minutes late and feel embarrassed. 6. Learn to say no. Sometimes we're late because we overload ourselves. Learning to say no to tasks beyond your capacity or schedule is crucial to managing your time and keeping your punctuality intact. In short, Pünktlichkeit ist die Höflichkeit der Könige isn't just an old proverb, it's a survival principle in modern business. It's not only about being on time, it's about respecting time, respecting others, and above all, respecting your own promises and professional image. Consider punctuality an investment in your personal reputation, an investment that always yields substantial returns. Start today by making it a habit to arrive 5 to 10 minutes early. You'll not only feel more confident, but you'll also notice how the way people see you and interact with you changes for the better. You'll build a strong foundation for Zuverlässigkeit, reliability, something Mr. Honey would certainly highlight in any serious business dictionary. Thank you for listening. See you in Chapter 4, where we'll explore another fascinating aspect of the business world through Mr. Honey's lens. Don't miss it. Now we're continuing our journey to decode the business world and work culture of Germany through the lens of the legendary Mr. Honey's Large Business Dictionary, English-German. And the chapter we're diving into today has a title that may sound simple at first, but actually contains an entire philosophy of German life and work, and even a key to understanding German psychology on a deeper level. Chapter 4. Trennung von Privatleben und Arbeit, the invisible wall between work and private life. It sounds a bit distant and mechanical, doesn't it? But trust me, after this chapter, you'll understand why Germans draw such clear lines, and more importantly, how you can navigate workplace relationships in Germany in the most effective way. not only to succeed in your career, but also to find balance in life. Erstens, Trennung von Privatleben und Arbeit. The invisible wall. First, let's break down this core concept. Trennung von Privatleben und Arbeit simply means a clear separation, a nearly invisible wall between personal life and work. For Germans, this isn't just a work principle. It's an essential part of their life philosophy. It's not that they are cold or unemotional. On the contrary, they believe that in order to work effectively to perform at their best, and at the same time maintain a healthy personal life, each role needs its own space. This clarity allows them to fully focus while at work and completely enjoy their personal time when they're not. 2. Feierabend, the moment work ends completely and must not be disturbed. And speaking of personal space, we cannot ignore a sacred, deeply respected concept in German work culture, Feierabend. Feierabend can be literally translated as evening celebration or the festive part of the day. But its true meaning is much deeper. It's not just the moment you clock out. It is the moment when work ends completely and must not be interrupted. Imagine this when the clock strikes 5 p.m. or whatever your contracted end time is, all work-related matters should be put aside. Emails, phone calls, even thoughts about deadlines or unfinished projects should pause. Feierabend is the inviolable time Germans reserve for family hobbies, rest, recharging, or simply doing nothing in peaceful silence. I remember a German friend once told me that if a boss calls or emails after Feierabend, and it's not an absolute emergency, like the company literally burning down or going bankrupt, it's practically considered an intrusion into their personal space. In fact, many German companies explicitly state that employees are not required to check emails or answer work calls after hours, nor are they expected to. This is the exact opposite of the always available 24/7 culture or the respond immediately mindset common elsewhere. For Germans, respecting Feierabend is not only respecting themselves, but respecting colleagues and the entire system. It helps everyone maintain balance, avoid stress and burnout, and work more effectively when they're actually at the office. Maintaining this boundary also reinforces the belief that a person's value is not defined solely by their job. 3. Why personal small talk is limited in professional environments. So with such a clear boundary, how do people socialize at work? This is where you'll realize that personal small talk, especially deeply personal topics, is often limited in German professional settings. In Germany, workplace small talk usually sticks to neutral, safe, universally social topics. How work is going, today's weather, general news in economics or sports, or upcoming professional events in the company or industry. They might ask about your weekend, but usually in a general way. Do you have any plans, rather than, are you seeing your boyfriend, or what are you doing with your family this weekend? Why? Primarily because Germans deeply respect personal privacy. Asking too much about family, romantic life, finances, or other personal matters can be seen as impolite, intrusive, or even disrespectful. They believe those details are irrelevant to work and unnecessary for maintaining an effective professional relationship. So my advice is, be thoughtful when initiating small talk at work. Instead of digging into personal life, focus on work-related topics, current events, or socially shared interests that aren't overly private, like a book, a movie, or a cultural event. Let them open up first if they choose to share something more personal. This restraint and respect for personal boundaries will earn you a lot of points with German colleagues. 4. Building strong work relationships based on respect and competence, not personal friendship. This leads us to another important aspect: how to build strong work relationships. In Germany, workplace relationships are built primarily on mutual respect for competence, professionalism, reliability, and the ability to get things done. Germans value trustworthiness, punctuality, quality of work, and adherence to rules. When you show professionalism, efficiency, and reliability, you'll naturally earn the respect of colleagues and superiors. And that respect becomes the strongest foundation for any professional relationship in Germany. Personal friendship can grow, but it usually comes after working together effectively, after you've proven your sincerity and reliability over time. It's not a prerequisite. Don't worry if things feel a little formal or dry at first. Focus on demonstrating your competence and professionalism. Once you've shown you're dependable and capable, the door to a deeper personal relationship may gradually open. I've seen colleagues work together extremely well with deep mutual respect, yet rarely meet or share personal stories outside office hours. And that's perfectly normal. They have separate circles of friends for their private lives, and colleagues remain colleagues. Both roles are taken seriously and fully embraced. 5. The difference between sei, formal, and du, informal, and when it's appropriate to switch, finally. One of the clearest symbols of the boundary between professional and personal life in German communication is the distinction between sei and du. Sei capitalized. This is the formal second-person pronoun used with strangers, superiors, clients, business partners, or anyone with whom you want to maintain a professional distance. When meeting someone for the first time in Germany, especially at work, the unwritten rule is always start with as ye. It shows respect and social awareness. Du lowercase. This is the informal pronoun used with close friends, family, children, and peers with whom you've mutually agreed to be informal. When is it appropriate to switch from sei to du? The switch known as duzen is a symbolic and important moment in German culture. It's not something you decide on your own. Typically, the person with higher status, older age, or longer tenure will initiate the switch. For example, your boss might say, "Wir könnten uns doch duzen, wenn du möchtest." We could use du if you'd like, or "Wir duzen uns hier im Team." We use du within our team. When this invitation is made and you accept it, it's a sign that the relationship has moved beyond the purely professional layer into something more personal, trusting, and warm. It signals closeness. Important note: never switch to du on your own without a clear invitation, especially in the workplace. It can be seen as disrespectful, overly familiar, or inappropriate, and can leave a negative first impression. It's always best to wait. Once you're invited to duzen, the relationship often becomes more genuine and long-lasting. So we've explored this invisible yet firm boundary between work and private life in German culture. It may seem strict or distant for those used to more open personal workplace interactions. But look at it from another angle. This clarity allows Germans to achieve remarkable work efficiency and maintain a healthy work-life balance. They work with full intensity at the office, then enjoy their private lives fully without guilt or interruption. And once you build a du relationship with a German colleague or partner, you'll see how sincere and solid that connection truly is. I hope these insights help you understand and, more importantly, navigate social dynamics in German workplaces with confidence and finesse. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapters from Mr. Honey's Large Business Dictionary. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next chapter. We're about to dive into a concept that is not just a rule, but a philosophy of life and work in Germany. Vertrag ist Vertrag. A promise in black and white. If you've ever believed that a firm handshake or a verbal promise over the phone is enough to seal an important business deal, then this chapter will be a gentle but absolutely necessary wake-up call. Let's find out why. Welcome to Chapter 5. I know the title sounds a bit dry, a promise in black and white. But trust me, behind that dryness lies a priceless lesson, especially if you plan to do business with German partners or simply want to understand the legal backbone of international business. We grew up with sayings about a word worth 1,000 gold pieces, and that a spoken promise can be stronger than any document. And yes, in some cultures that might be true. But in Germany and in most of the modern business world that our Mr. Honey describes, that philosophy needs to be seriously reconsidered. 1. The invisible power of promises. On paper. Imagine this: you meet a potential partner, sit in a cozy cafe, exchange ideas, and eventually reach a mutual nod along with a warm, "All right, it's settled," then it feels great, doesn't it? Trust is built. But in the business world, especially with Germans, that's usually just the starting point. Mr. Honey would whisper in your ear, oral agreements are often not legally binding. Everything needs to be documented in detail. Exactly. In the German business world, and as this dictionary constantly reminds us, there is an unshakable principle. Nothing is considered to exist unless it is written down. You can have a long, fruitful discussion outlining every detail of a project, but if those details are not carefully and clearly documented in writing, then legally speaking, they basically don't exist. It's not that they don't trust you, it's that they trust the clarity and transparency of the law. A verbal promise can be misunderstood, forgotten, or denied. A written document signed by both parties is undeniable evidence. So the first and most fundamental advice is everything from the smallest clause to the largest commitment needs to be written down. Detailed, precise, and without room for ambiguity. 2. Why are German contracts so long and meticulous? Rechtssicherheit is the key. If you've ever held a German contract in your hands, you'll notice one thing immediately. It's long, very long, incredibly detailed down to every period and comma. You might wonder, why does it have to be so complicated? Is this really necessary? And the answer is absolutely necessary. The reason lies in a core concept of German law, Rechtssicherheit, legal certainty. Germans don't want to leave any loophole, any vague scenario that could lead to disputes later. They want to anticipate every possible situation. Imagine you're building a bridge. You don't just design the pillars and the road surface. You must calculate wind force, maximum load, corrosion-resistant materials, earthquake tolerance, even repair procedures for minor damages. A German contract works the same way. It doesn't simply say, you will deliver product A. It will say, you will deliver product A, quantity X, quality Y. Packaged to standard Z on date D at location L via transport method V, with shipping costs allocated as follows. In case of delay, the penalty will be. If product defects occur, the warranty procedure will be. And if no agreement can be reached, the competent court will be. Sounds rigid, doesn't it? But the ultimate purpose of this meticulousness is to protect both parties. When everything is clearly defined, everyone knows exactly what their responsibilities are, and more importantly, what consequences they face if they don't comply. This reduces risks, saves time and money in future disputes, and creates a transparent, trustworthy business environment. 3. Once signed, don't even think about changing it. Flexibility is not the priority. This is another crucial point Mr. Honey wants us to remember. In many places, a contract may be seen as a starting point for further negotiations, something flexible that can be adjusted based on circumstances. But in Germany, once again, this is where the phrase Vertrag ist Vertrag reveals its full meaning. Once signed, it is the law. Germans put enormous value and seriousness into the negotiation process before signing. They invest time and effort to discuss, evaluate, and clarify every clause. This process might feel slow, frustrating, even for those used to quick decision-making. But for them, this is the stage where all potential issues must be resolved. Once the contract is signed, changing or renegotiating terms becomes extremely difficult, sometimes impossible. Germans value stability and certainty so much that attempting to change a signed agreement is often viewed as unprofessional or unreliable. It disrupts the Rechtssicherheit they worked so hard to build. Of course, in cases of force majeure or major unforeseen events, adjustments can be considered. But these are exceptions, not the rule. Be prepared. Once you sign, you're expected to follow the contract strictly. 4. Golden advice. Read every line before you sign, because once you sign it becomes the law. This is advice I want you to engrave into your memory, not just when dealing with Germans, but in all business dealings. Before signing anything, please, read carefully, line by line, word by word. Don't just skim the main clauses. The tiny paragraphs, annexes, and footnotes often contain the most important details. Ask about anything you don't understand. Don't hesitate to request clarification. Negotiate anything that feels unreasonable. The pre-signing phase is your only chance to change things. Seek legal counsel if needed. A small legal fee today could save you thousands or millions later. Never sign something you don't fully agree with or understand. Because once signed, the document is no longer a draft or an intention. It is a legally binding commitment, a private law between you and your partner. Not reading carefully, not understanding it, or regretting it later is not an acceptable reason for non-compliance. Vertrag ist Vertrag. A contract is a contract. A promise in black and white is a promise that must be kept. Understanding Vertrag ist. Vertrag not only helps you avoid legal trouble, but also helps you build credibility and reliability in the eyes of German partners and the global business community at large. It's a lesson in professionalism, discipline, and the importance of thoughtful decision-making. I know it may sound a bit extreme, but this is the solid foundation that has helped Germany build a strong, transparent, highly predictable economy. And we as students of Mr. Honey can absolutely apply these principles to our own work and lives. So we've shed light on the importance of written agreements and the strict adherence to signed rules. Always remember, a pen and a sheet of paper can create obligations stronger than any spoken words. In the next chapter, we'll continue exploring other fascinating aspects of German business culture, where Pünktlichkeit and Ordnung are not just words, but ways of life. Let's find out why being 5 minutes late to a meeting in Germany could be considered a serious offense. See you in Chapter 6, wishing you a productive day and crystal clear judgment in every decision you make. Hello everyone, it's me again. Thank you all for sticking with our channel on this journey to uncover the hidden gems inside the legendary Mr. Honey's Large Business Dictionary English-German. We've gone through several chapters and many fascinating concepts, but today I want to dedicate an entire chapter to talking about a brand that needs no advertising, a philosophy that shaped an entire economy, and a source of national pride. Welcome to Chapter 6, Qualität über Quantität, the signature of Made in Germany. When you hear Made in Germany, what pops into your mind? A shiny Mercedes-Benz, a powerful BMW, perhaps a reliable Bosch washing machine, or a sturdy Siemens fridge? Absolutely. The word quality is almost an automatic reflex whenever we talk about German products. But did you know that the label Made in Germany, which we trust wholeheartedly today, originally meant the exact opposite? Yes, really. In the late 19th century, specifically in 1887, the British government passed the Merchandise Marks Act. What was the purpose of this law? To protect British industries from cheap, low-quality imported goods from Germany. At the time, German products were widely viewed as knockoffs, as inferior goods, so they were forced to stamp made in Germany on their products, so British consumers could avoid them. Pretty ironic, isn't it? From being a symbol of poor quality made in Germany, underwent one of the most remarkable transformations in world history. The Germans, with their persistence and hunger for improvement, turned the curse into a promise. They invested relentlessly in technology, craftsmanship, and training to elevate the quality of their products, step by step. And today, Made in Germany has become a golden passport, a globally recognized guarantee of quality, reliability, and precision. This is living proof that nothing is impossible when you're truly committed and willing to put in the work. But what sparked this miraculous transformation? What is the root of the quality over quantity philosophy that Germans are so devoted to? In my view, it all boils down to one word. I absolutely love a concept Mr. Honey certainly spent many pages unpacking in his dictionary Gründlichkeit. Gründlichkeit isn't just carefulness or thoroughness. It's far deeper. Think of it this way. Gründlichkeit means doing everything completely meticulously, down to the smallest detail. And most importantly, getting it right the first time. It's not about rushing to get things done. It's about making sure you never have to go back and fix anything. It's about thorough preparation, accounting for every possible scenario, every factor that could influence the outcome. I still remember watching a German engineer at work, or even just seeing how they organized a tool cabinet, and being genuinely stunned. Everything had to be precisely in its place. Every process followed strictly, every screw tightened to the correct torque, every document stored properly, clearly, and logically. This isn't rigidity, it's respect. Respect for the work, for the product, and for the person who will ultimately use it. They believe a product or service is only truly good when it's built on a solid foundation without a single hidden flaw. And this Gründlichkeit mindset leads directly to another core German philosophy, long-term thinking. In a world where everyone wants things fast, wants to release the first version, wants to jump on trends quickly, Germans approach things differently. They prioritize creating something perfect, durable, reliable, something that can serve customers for decades, rather than rushing to market just to catch a passing wave. Think about Miele dishwashers that last for decades, cars that run smoothly across hundreds of thousands of kilometers, or mechanical tools with near-perfect precision. To achieve that, they're willing to invest massive amounts of time, effort, and money into research and development, R&D. Their design process isn't just about aesthetics or features. It's about durability, ease of maintenance, and product life cycle. They believe that a high-quality product creates its own value, its own reputation, and its own customer loyalty over time. This is a powerful lesson any business should learn. Investing in quality is never a waste. It's the most sustainable investment you can make. This also ties into another key element of German business thinking: risk aversion, and an almost obsessive level of quality control, QC. When you've spent so much effort to do things thoroughly, to do them right, you naturally want to eliminate any possibility of mistakes. This caution doesn't come from fear of failure, but from respect for quality and the reputation that has taken centuries to build. Quality control isn't just an extra step at the end of production. It is integrated throughout the entire process, from material design to the final product. Every tiny detail, every component, every assembly step undergoes strict testing. Safety standards, operational standards, durability standards, everything is set at levels far higher than the minimum required by market regulations. They're willing to discard an entire batch if it fails even one minor standard, no matter the cost. Because to them, one small flaw could damage an entire brand, an entire legacy of quality built over generations. So, through the lens of Mr. Honey's large business dictionary, especially in this chapter on Qualität über Quantität, we're learning far more than just business vocabulary. We're absorbing a full philosophy, a way of living and working. The Made in Germany mindset isn't just about manufacturing goods. It's about how we approach everything in life, how to live more gründlich, how to build sustainable values, and how to put quality first in every decision. I hope this chapter gave you deeper insights and maybe even new inspiration. The next time you see a Made in Germany label or any product that reflects meticulous craftsmanship, I hope you won't just see an object, but the philosophy and culture behind it. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming chapters. I'll be back with more knowledge and stories from this amazing dictionary. See you all in the next chapter. If in the previous chapter we explored precision in language, then today we're diving into something perhaps even more complex than grammar itself, the cultural norms of professional behavior in the German business environment, especially how we understand and navigate power structures. Our Chapter 7 is titled Hierarchy and Respect, Navigating Power Structures. When people talk about German companies, many tend to imagine a strict, tightly organized structure. And that's not wrong. But how can we, those coming from different cultural backgrounds, adapt and show respect in a way that aligns with their expectations? This is the key to building effective and successful working relationships. I remember my early days working in a multinational environment with German partners. There were times when I didn't know how to address someone properly or how to ensure my ideas were actually heard. Over time, I realized that the core of everything lies in understanding the values they prioritize. And today, I want to share those with you. 1. The importance of academic titles. Doctor and Professors. The first thing I want you to remember if you ever work with Germans is their deep respect for academic titles. In many other cultures, we might casually use first names or informal pronouns even when someone holds an advanced degree. But in Germany, especially in a professional context, titles like Doctor or Professor's Professor are not just labels. They represent years of research, hard work expertise, and recognized professional standing. They are symbols of personal achievement. Ignoring these titles, whether intentionally or unintentionally, can be seen as disrespectful or even unprofessional. It's almost like dismissing an important part of their life's work. So please be careful to use these titles correctly. For example, if you're talking to someone named Müller who holds a doctorate, you should call him Herr Dr. Müller. For a professor named Schmidt, address her as Frau Professor Schmidt. If someone holds both titles like Professor Dr. Schmidt, you may use both, or at least Professor. Don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure. They will appreciate your attention to detail far more than a careless mistake. It's a small gesture, but one that carries significant weight in building a strong first impression. 2. The decision-making process. Top-down but supported by team consensus. Next, let's talk about how decisions are made. At first glance, the hierarchy in German companies seems very clear and somewhat top-down, meaning the highest-ranking person often makes the final call and bears the responsibility. However, this does not mean that the opinions of lower-level employees are ignored or that decisions are imposed arbitrarily. Quite the opposite. In reality, before a final decision is made at the top, there is often a thorough process of group discussion, data analysis, and consensus building. Germans value Sachlichkeit, objectivity, fact-based reasoning, and logical argumentation. Everyone is encouraged to give input, analyze risks and opportunities, and even challenge ideas as long as everything is backed by solid evidence. The goal is to ensure that any final decision has been evaluated from multiple angles supported by adequate data, and most importantly, understood and accepted, or at least logically agreed upon, by the majority of those who will carry it out. Consensus here doesn't mean a full democratic vote. It means aligning on a solution's logic and feasibility. Leadership will then consolidate everything and choose the final route, but always based on a foundation of collective input. So don't hesitate to contribute your ideas, just make sure you come prepared. 3. Respect comes from competence and thorough preparation, not flattery. This is a crucial point, and one that often leads to misunderstandings for those coming from cultures where diplomacy charm or subtle flattery are common in professional settings. In Germany, respect is not earned through flowery compliments, sugar-coated comments, or excessive friendliness. In fact, this can sometimes be seen as insincere or unprofessional. Instead, respect is earned through expertise, thorough preparation, reliability, and a strong sense of responsibility. Want to make a good impression? Don't just say nice things. Present a well-prepared report, deliver a presentation with clear data, arrive on time, or complete your tasks before the deadline. These actions show the highest level of respect for other people's time, for the work, and for the team. If you say you will do something, do it. If you promise to send a document on Tuesday, send it on Tuesday. Consistency, dependability, and transparency are gold in German business culture. They believe that doing your job well is the ultimate form of respect for the system and for the people around you. 4. How to present ideas to higher-ups effectively and professionally. So how do you present your idea effectively in this environment where objectivity and competence are everything? The golden rule. Come to the meeting not just with an idea, but with a fully researched, well-supported solution. Instead of saying, "I think we should do X," say something like, "Based on market data analysis, including supporting charts and concrete figures, and after evaluating options A, B, and C, I recommend implementing X. X is expected to deliver Y benefits with specifics and minimize Z risks with a contingency plan." More specifically, prepare your data. Always bring numbers charts, market research, or real-world evidence to support your idea. Use logical structure. Present your idea clearly, problem analysis, proposed solution benefits, risks, and mitigation strategies. Think holistically. Consider cost, time, resources, impact on other departments. A brief SWOT analysis can go a long way. Have contingency plans. This shows foresight and a strong understanding of potential risks. If X doesn't work, we can move to Y. Your manager will appreciate your preparation and your ability to think through every aspect of the issue. They want to see that you've spent time researching and analyzing before proposing anything. Present your ideas, objectively center them around facts and benefits, not feelings or vague expectations. And most importantly, be ready to defend your idea calmly and logically. In short, navigating power structures in a German company requires a deep understanding of their cultural values. Remember, respect academic titles, always use Dr. and Prof correctly. Understand the decision-making process. It may look top-down, but it's grounded in thorough discussion and data-based consensus. Show respect through competence. Preparation, reliability, and solid results matter more than flattery. Present professionally, bring data, logic, structure, and backup plans. These practices will not only help you integrate, but will also allow you to shine and succeed in this demanding yet fair and highly effective working culture. Thank you for spending time with me in today's chapter. I hope these insights will be helpful for your career development, especially when working within German business culture. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next chapters. In the next chapter, we'll explore another equally important aspect: Zeitmanagement und Pünktlichkeit. Time management and punctuality. Sounds very German already, doesn't it? Stay tuned. Welcome back to the world of Mr. Honey, where we uncover the secrets behind German business language and culture. Today we're opening a chapter that may very well be the most challenging, but also one of the most crucial for anyone working or planning to work with Germans and Europeans in general. It's a concept Germans call Datenschutz, which I like to translate as a healthy obsession with privacy. Yes, obsession. Sounds negative, doesn't it? But trust me, by the end of this chapter, you'll understand why I added the word healthy. Many foreigners, when they first step into a German or European workplace, are often shocked by how strict, sometimes seemingly overly meticulous they are when it comes to protecting personal data. For example, you want to send an email list to potential partners. Do you have their consent? You want to take a photo during a workshop and post it on social media. Are you sure everyone in the picture has agreed to that? Or even something as simple as asking a colleague about their kids. You might receive a slightly puzzled look. Not because they're distant, but because they're practicing Datenschutz. So, what exactly is a Datenschutz? Put simply, it's data protection. And GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, is the EU's comprehensive data protection law, effective since 2018, setting the global gold standard for privacy. Understanding GDPR is understanding Datenschutz. Think of it like this: your personal data is your private home. GDPR and Datenschutz are the laws that protect that home from unlawful intrusion. They're not just dry legal rules, they are a philosophy of respecting and empowering individuals to control their own information. There are several core principles you need to know. 1. Lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Data collection and processing must be legal, fair, and transparent. You must clearly state why you're collecting someone's data, and they have the right to know. 2. Purpose limitation. Data can only be collected for a specific, clear, lawful purpose, and cannot be used for unrelated purposes later. If you collect email addresses for newsletters, you cannot sell them to a third party without explicit consent. 3. Data minimization. I'll only collect what you actually need. No more, no less. If you only need an email to send a notification, you don't need marital status. 4. Accuracy. Data must be accurate and updated when needed. Incorrect data must be corrected or removed immediately. 5. Storage limitation. Data cannot be kept longer than necessary. Cleaning up old data is extremely important. 6. Integrity and confidentiality. Data must be protected from unauthorized access loss or accidental damage. This is why German companies take IT security incredibly seriously. 7. Accountability organizations must be able to prove that they follow all the above principles. Sounds complicated, right? But if you put yourself in the shoes of the person whose data is being handled, everything suddenly makes sense. Who doesn't want their personal information respected and protected? So why are Germans and Europeans so deeply committed to privacy? There are two major reasons, one historical, one cultural. What are one? The shadow of history, when data became a weapon. For Germans, protecting personal data isn't just a right. It's a painful lesson learned from history. Nazi Germany. The Gestapo and other intelligence agencies used meticulously collected personal data to classify, track, arrest, and exterminate millions Jews, LGBTQ+ people, political dissidents, and more. Personal records of race, religion, political views were turned into deadly tools of genocide. East Germany and the Stasi. You're after what too? In East Germany, the Stasi built a massive network that recorded every aspect of citizens' lives. Phone calls, letters, relationships, habits. The goal: total surveillance and suppression of dissent. It created a society filled with fear and distrust, where no one felt safe if their personal information could be misused at any moment. These memories of government abuse of personal data left deep scars. Germans know that without strict boundaries, personal information can become a weapon used against you. That's why Germany and Europe built legal walls to ensure it never happens again. 2. A culture that values independence and personal boundaries. Beyond history, European, especially German culture, places strong emphasis on personal space and independence. Clear boundaries. Germans draw sharp lines around their private lives. Questions that seem normal to others may feel intrusive to them, especially in a workplace. Skepticism of big power. There's an inherent distrust of any organization, government, or tech company that holds too much power. They want control over their own data, not have it exploited for commercial or political gain. My house, my rules. Just as they clearly define physical property, they also fiercely protect their informational property. I remember once, shortly after arriving in Germany, I casually asked a colleague how many children he had because I saw him speaking warmly to a kid on the phone. He replied politely, but somewhat coldly. That was the moment I realized I had crossed a line. Later, I understood that such questions, though harmless in intention, may be viewed as invasive. A valuable, humbling lesson. So how can we foreigners work and communicate effectively while respecting this healthy obsession? 1. Always ask for consent. Consent is king. Before collecting, never assume you have the right to take someone's data. Before using, even if you already have it, ask again, before using it for a new purpose. Example: want to add a customer's email to your newsletter list. Add a checkbox that they must tick. 2. Only collect what's absolutely necessary. Ask yourself, do I need this information to get the job done? If not, don't collect it. 3. Be transparent about purpose and retention. Tell people why you're collecting their data, how long you'll keep it, and who will have access. 4. Keep all data safe. Use passwords, encryption, secure storage, and limited access. 5. Respect data subjects' rights. They can request access, correction, deletion, or withdraw consent at any time to avoid unnecessary trouble and to show professionalism. Watch out for these traps. 1. Using publicly available info without permission just because you found someone's info on LinkedIn doesn't mean you can use it for marketing. 2. Sharing contact lists without consent. This is a serious violation. 3. Taking photos or videos without asking. In Germany, this is extremely sensitive. Always ask first. 4. Ignoring data storage and deletion rules. This can lead to real legal consequences. 5. Asking overly personal questions at work. Keep workplace conversations work-focused unless people voluntarily open up. As you can see, Datenschutz isn't a set of annoying rules meant to make life difficult. It is the highest expression of respect for personal autonomy and human dignity. By understanding and following these principles, we not only avoid legal issues, we build trust with German colleagues, partners, and customers. And trust is the foundation of every sustainable relationship, in business and in life. Remember, in the world of Mr. Honeycaution and sensitivity are always the keys to success. Don't see this as an obsession. See it as the gold standard of professionalism and respect. I hope this Chapter 8 has given you new and helpful insights. In the next chapter, we'll explore another fascinating concept from Mr. Honey's dictionary, Pünktlichkeit, the class of being on time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next valuable content. See you in the next chapter. In the previous chapter, we dove deep into Mr. Honey's large business dictionary, a true gem that I believe has opened up countless insights into the German work ethic. We talked about precision, efficiency, and a kind of discipline that almost feels legendary. But let's be honest, reading is easy, understanding is one thing, and actually applying these ideas to our daily work lives is an entirely different story, right? I know that feeling. Sometimes we're fired up after finishing a great book, and just a few days later, everything slides right back to the way it was. That's why today, I want to give you something practical, something you can actually do. Together, We're going to take on a 7-day challenge, a step-by-step action plan to Germanize your work style. Not to turn you into a German person, of course, but to help you integrate the core principles that built their reputation into your own work and life. Are you ready? Grab a notebook or open your Notes app because we're about to map out a more productive, more disciplined week. This plan won't require you to overhaul your entire life overnight. These are small, intentional steps enough for you to feel the difference and start building strong new habits. Days 1 and 2, observation and planning. We begin with the foundation of all effectiveness, observation and planning. Germans are famous for their meticulous planning down to every tiny detail, and that's exactly what we'll practice in the first 2 days. Your goal for day 1 and day 2 is simple but powerful. Create a detailed schedule for the entire week and follow it as strictly as possible. It sounds simple, but I want you to go further than just listing tasks. Think time blocking, assigning specific blocks of time for each activity. Answering emails, meetings, deep focus work, everything. And here's a small tip that delivers a huge impact, one the Germans seem to have mastered. Arrive 5 minutes early to every appointment. Why 5 minutes? Because those 5 minutes allow you to take a deep breath, shake off the rush and stress, organize your thoughts, look over your notes, and get mentally prepared. Observe the environment, get a sense of the room or meeting before you dive in. Make a strong professional impression, show respect for others' time, and demonstrate your own preparedness. On these 2 days, I want you to be mindful about planning. Not just I have a meeting at 10, but I will prepare for the meeting at 9:50, head to the meeting room, open the app at 9:50 EV, and be ready to start right at 10. Track what you planned versus what you actually did. Notice how these small adjustments can reduce chaos and increase your sense of control. Days 3 and 4, communication. We all know communication is key. But in modern workplaces, communication often gets diluted with unnecessary words, long greetings, and explanations that say too much, yet nothing at all. Once again, the Germans show us the power of being direct and clear. Your goal for day 3 and day 4 is write emails that focus only on facts and clear requests, cutting out unnecessary fluff. Think of a typical email you send or receive. How many lines like, "Hope you're doing well today"? Or, "I just wanted to ask if maybe..." Do you see? For these 2 days, I want you to try something different. 1. Get straight to the point. The first sentence should clearly state the purpose. 2. Use bullet points. Make info and requests easy to read and understand. 3. Stick to who, what, when, where, why. Ensure every essential detail is there. 4. Have a clear call to action. What do you need from the recipient? Please review this document by Friday, or I need your feedback on point X. 5. Cut unnecessary social niceties. If it doesn't add value, remove it. At first, this may feel a bit blunt or less friendly. But consider the benefits. Time saving for both you and them. Clarity, less room for misunderstandings. Efficiency, faster responses, and quicker action. Try this for at least 5-10 emails each day. You may be surprised by the clarity and confidence it brings. Days 5 and 6, execution. We've planned. We've communicated clearly. Now it's time to execute and execute in a way that would make any German nod in approval, with meticulous attention to detail and an unshakable commitment to quality. Your goal for day 5 and day 6 is choose one single task and complete it with precision, then double-check it to ensure absolute quality. In a world that pushes us to do everything as fast as possible, we often sacrifice quality along the way. For these 2 days, pick one important task: a report, a presentation, a critical email, a complex spreadsheet, and then complete it like a craftsman. Work with full focus. Turn off notifications, eliminate distractions. Reread every sentence if it's a document. Verify every number, every formula if it's data. Check every requirement, Make sure you've met every criteria exactly. And here's the most important part. Check it twice. Yes, twice. Do one full review. Take a 5 to 10 minute break. Come back with fresh eyes, then do a second review. Or if you can ask a trusted colleague to cross-check it for you. The goal isn't to slow down, it's to get it right the first time. When you invest in meticulous execution, you will minimize errors, saving time and effort later. Boost your credibility. People will trust your work. Feel proud. There's deep satisfaction in producing excellent work. Choose your task and turn it into your own small masterpiece. Day 7 reflection. And here we are, day 7. A day to pause, breathe, and reflect. This step is crucial because without reflection, experiences remain random events, not meaningful lessons. Your goal for day 7 is write down 3 things you learned this week and choose one core principle to apply consistently next month. Take 15 to 30 minutes today. Find a quiet space and ask yourself, 1. What went best this week? In planning, communication, execution, what brought the most positive results? 2. What was your biggest challenge? Which part of the Germanization plan felt hardest to maintain? Why? 3. What 3 things did you learn about yourself and your work style? Write them clearly. Maybe, I realized I waste too much time writing overly long emails. Arriving 5 minutes early actually calms me down a lot. Double-checking my work improved my confidence. Then choose one core principle, just one that had the biggest impact. Examples. If it's punctuality, commit to arriving 5 minutes early to every meeting next month. If it's direct communication, make every email clear and concise. If it's meticulous execution, choose one task a day and complete it with top-level quality. Choosing one and sticking to it will help you anchor the new habit, turning it from a challenge into a natural part of your work style. My friends, this journey to Germanize your work style isn't about becoming perfect in 7 days. It's about starting a positive shift step by step. Mr. Honey's large business dictionary showed us the golden principles, and now it's time to turn them into action. I truly believe that if you take this 7-day challenge seriously, even with small steps, you'll notice real changes in your productivity focus and even your overall satisfaction with your work. Share your experience in the comments. Which principle will you continue next month? What surprised you the most? I'd love to hear your stories. We've just taken a deep dive into what might at first glance seem like a slightly dry world, but one that actually hides some of the most valuable gems inside Mr. Honey's large business dictionary, English-German. A business dictionary. Sounds a bit academic, doesn't it? But trust me, behind every term and every definition is an entire philosophy on how to run a business, and more broadly, how to run our own lives in a way that's effective and reliable. After all the pages we've flipped through, even if only in our imagination, I want to distill everything down to the 3 most essential ideas, 3 messages that Mr. Honey, even if he never said them outright, infused into every line he wrote. These are the 3 pillars that anyone who wants to succeed, whether in business or any other field, absolutely must understand. Think of these as the 3 commandments we'll carry with us after this video. Let's revisit these 3 key points together to make sure that when you leave here, these little seeds of knowledge sink deep into your mind. Ready? Let's go. The first core point, and probably the foundation for everything Mr. Honey wants to leave us with, is this: structure is king. Sounds a little intense, right? But it's true. Mr. Honey, as a lexicographer, is without question a master of order and organization. He understands that for any system to function smoothly, whether it's a massive dictionary or a complex business order, planning and processes are the foundation, the solid bricks that build the wall of efficiency and reliability. Think about it. What would happen if you tried to build a house without blueprints, without a construction sequence, without any quality control? It would be chaos. It would waste time, waste money, and the final result would likely be unstable or even uninhabitable. Business works the same way. And so does life. Order everything has its place. From how you arrange your emails and computer files to how you organize a meeting or a project. When things are in order, you find them faster, process them faster, and make fewer mistakes. Think of a neatly arranged grocery store versus a chaotic one. Where would you rather shop? Planning. This isn't just about setting goals. It's about mapping out the path to reach them, clear steps, clear timelines, and backup plans. A good plan helps you see the big picture, anticipate challenges, and allocate resources wisely. Mr. Honey doesn't just want us to work hard, he wants us to work smart with direction. Process, this is the one most people underestimate. A process is a standardized, documented, consistent way of doing things. When a process exists, everyone knows what to do, how to do it, and what outcome is expected. This reduces errors and creates alignment, helping your business or your team run like a well-oiled machine. Honestly, this was a lesson I learned the hard way when I first started my business. I thought I could do everything based on inspiration, and we'll see what happens. The result, lots of mistakes. Lots of wasted time searching for lost things, most painfully a loss of trust from partners and clients because of my lack of professionalism. Only when I began creating processes and planning more carefully did everything start falling into place and growing more steadily. Mr. Honey would tell you, if you want to build something sustainable, efficient, and trustworthy, start by laying down a strong foundation of structure, order, planning, and processes. Because at the end of the day, structure really is king. Now moving on to the second core point, Mr. Honey wants us to engrave into our minds clear communication. Real work. This is something our modern society filled with noise, distraction, and endless layers of interaction needs more than ever. In Mr. Honey's world, a world less technologically complicated than ours, yet requiring no less precision, he understood that ambiguity and indirectness can lead to serious consequences. Straight communication. This doesn't mean being rude or insensitive. It means being clear, direct, and getting straight to the point. Use precise language, no circling around, no assumptions. When you convey information, make sure the receiver understands exactly what you mean. Think of a business contract. Every word must be carefully chosen to avoid any misinterpretation. Mr. Honey wants us to say what we mean and to be understood without guesswork. Real work. This is all about focusing on facts, data, and clarity. In business, important decisions should be based on evidence, real numbers, not emotions, rumors, or empty promises. Real work also means being transparent, not hiding essential information, not twisting facts to benefit yourself. And here's the incredibly important part. Mr. Honey emphasizes, separate your work from your personal emotions. Oh yes, this is a big challenge for many of us, isn't it? We're human, of course we have feelings. But in a professional environment, emotions can be a double-edged sword. I've seen meetings drag on forever. Projects stall endlessly, all because people let personal feelings get in the way. Someone didn't like someone else's idea. Someone felt offended by feedback. Someone made a decision just because it felt right, without any data to support it. Mr. Honey would shake his head at these situations. He would say, where are the facts? Where's the truth? What's the core issue? What's the evidence-based solution? When you communicate directly and work based on facts and data, you build a more transparent, fair, efficient environment. You avoid unnecessary conflict, harmful misunderstandings, and poor decisions. It helps everyone focus on the shared goal, on results, not on personal drama. Always remember, in a complicated world, Mr. Honey wants us to return to core values, clear communication, real work. This is the path to clarity, trust, and sustainable success. And now we arrive at the third core point, the last, but certainly not least. In fact, it may be the most important lesson Mr. Honey wants to give us. Reputation is gold. Why gold? Because it's precious. It's rare. And once you lose it, it's incredibly hard to get back. Reputation isn't something money can buy. It's something you build through your consistency and your actions over time. Mr. Honey, with his meticulous and precise style, demonstrated this through his own work. He knew that in every business relationship, whether with partners, clients, or colleagues, trust is the most valuable asset. And trust is built from three key elements. Punctuality. This may sound small, but it reveals so much about you. Being on time isn't just about respecting someone else's time. It shows professionalism, seriousness, and your ability to manage yourself. If you can't be on time for a simple meeting, how can someone trust you with bigger projects? Punctuality is the first promise you make every day, keeping your promises. This is the spine of trust. When you say yes, follow through. When you commit to something, do it. Whether it's, I'll send you that email this afternoon, or we'll finish the project on schedule. Every promise kept becomes a brick in the wall of your reputation. Every broken promise becomes a crack. And Mr. Honey would absolutely underline this point. Exceptional work quality. This is how you show your value. Not just doing things well, but doing them excellently. It means delivering the best possible results, often exceeding expectations. When your work is consistently high quality, people automatically trust your competence and dedication. They know that when they give you a task, they can relax, you've got it under control. Reputation isn't built overnight. It's a long-term investment, like putting money into a savings account. Every moment of punctuality, every promise kept, every high-quality result is a deposit into your reputation account. And when you need it, trust me, it'll be there. Opening doors, earning respect, and creating lasting opportunities. I'm convinced that Mr. Honey, with his precision and care, created a dictionary that is not only useful, but deeply trustworthy. That's reputation in action. He didn't just provide information, he delivered a promise of quality and accuracy. So always remember, reputation is gold. It is the most valuable asset you can possess in business and in life. Nurture it with punctuality, kept promises, and exceptional work. So we've revisited the three core points, the three priceless lessons we can distill from Mr. Honey's world and his business dictionary. 1-1. Structure is king. Build everything on a foundation of order, planning, and processes to achieve efficiency and reliability. 2. Clear communication. Real work focus on truth, data, and clarity, and separate work from personal emotions. 3. Reputation is gold. Build trust through punctuality, keeping your promises, and delivering exceptional work. Honestly, these aren't just business tips. They're golden principles for anyone who wants to live a meaningful, effective life and be respected by others. Mr. Honey, even through simple dictionary entries, showed us the path to being a true professional, someone reliable, trustworthy, and successful. I hope this summary helps you strengthen the most important messages from today's video, and that you'll carry these principles into your work and everyday life. Try applying them, you'll feel the difference. We've just finished flipping through the pages of Mr. Honey's large business dictionary pages that may have seemed a bit dry at first, but in reality opened up an entire world that is anything but dry, the world of German business culture. A world packed with principles and unspoken rules that, if misunderstood, can easily land us in awkward situations, or worse, cause us to miss out on valuable opportunities for collaboration. To me, this dictionary isn't just a language tool. It's a map, a guide into the soul of a culture, of an economy. Every term, every example, hides a story, a lesson about how Germans work, think, and build their careers. And honestly, that has made me reflect a lot. Now, as our short exploration comes to an end, I'm genuinely curious and honestly very excited to hear from you. Out of everything we've just explored about German business culture, from precision discipline, contractual rigor, to structured meetings and the etiquette of exchanging business cards, which principle left the strongest impression on you? Was it their directness, the kind that can feel shocking at times, or their unwavering, almost rigid commitment to following procedures, or maybe the philosophy of quality, the pursuit of perfection behind "Made in Germany" that stuck with you? Or perhaps you've had a memorable experience working with a German partner, something that surprised you, impressed you, or taught you a valuable lesson. Don't hesitate. Share your story, your thoughts, or anything that stayed with you after watching this video by commenting down below. I truly believe that every comment you leave isn't just a personal opinion, but a valuable puzzle piece that helps our entire community build a fuller picture of this fascinating business culture. Who knows, your story might be the exact answer someone else has been looking for, or the spark that inspires someone to be bolder in their international projects. I'll be reading every single comment, and I can't wait to engage with you. And if what I've shared, these perspectives, these reflections, has given you even a little bit of value, a new insight, or simply an enjoyable moment, then please don't hesitate to show your support. That's the greatest motivation for me and my team to keep exploring, distilling, and sharing captivating cultural knowledge like this. Hit the like button on this video if you found it helpful or want to see more content like this. Every like isn't just a number, it's a sign that we're heading in the right direction, creating something that truly matters to you. And even more important, if you don't want to miss any of our upcoming cultural journeys, whether it's through classic books or modern stories from Japanese business culture to the mysteries of the Chinese market, then make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so YouTube can let you know each time a new video is posted. We are building a community of curious, growth-driven people who crave broader perspectives and deeper understanding of the world. Becoming part of the Mr. Honey community isn't just about following, it's about co-creating knowledge together. I know we don't always have time to jot down every important detail, and sometimes having a quick, concise summary to refer back to is incredibly convenient, especially when you're rushing into a meeting or prepping last minute for a business appointment. That's why we've taken the time to extract and compile the 10 golden rules of German business culture into a short, clear, easy-to-digest PDF. This summary is your pocket-sized guide perfect for reviewing key points and boosting your confidence when navigating real-world German business situations. To get your completely free copy, simply visit our website through the link I've placed in the video description. Just a few clicks, and you'll have a powerful tool ready to keep in your pocket for whatever challenges come your way. Make use of it. Think of it as a small gift from Mr. Honey and from me to reward your passion for learning. Finally, and this is no less important, I truly believe knowledge is meant to be shared, to be spread. The real value of what we learn multiplies when we pass it on to others. So think about it. Is there someone in your contact list, a friend dreaming of studying or working in Germany, a colleague about to fly to Frankfurt for contract negotiations, a partner struggling with cultural differences when dealing with German companies, or maybe simply a family member learning German and eager to understand the culture more deeply? Share this video with anyone you know who is working or about to work with German partners, or anyone who's interested in German culture and business. That little share button of yours could be a big gift, a valuable piece of information that helps them feel more confident, avoid misunderstandings, and unlock new opportunities in their career. That's how we build a knowledge network, a community that lifts each other up. Once again, thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the world of Mr. Honey and German business culture. I always believe that every video isn't just a lesson, it's a conversation, a connection. I'm genuinely looking forward to reading your comments, seeing your likes and subscribes, and sharing this knowledge with even more people. Keep that spirit of curiosity alive. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.